Welcome back to Think and Speak podcast. Today's topic is simple, but incredibly powerful. How to use the verb keep in everyday English. Mr. Miller, many learners use basic verbs like continue or stay, but they often forget how common and flexible keep really is.
That is absolutely right, Emma. Keep is one of the most versatile verbs in English. Native speakers use it in conversations, emails, meetings, and even casual chats. If you master this verb, your English will immediately sound more natural and fluent.
Exactly. We will explore grammar structures, phrasal verbs, idioms, and real-life examples that you can start using today.
And if you want to speak modern, confident English, this lesson is essential. If you are serious about improving your fluency, like this video right now and comment with one sentence using keep. Practice is the key to progress. Let us begin.
Mr. Miller, let us start with the basics. Many learners know that keep means continue, but they do not fully understand how to use it grammatically. Could you explain how keep works when we want to talk about continuing an action? For example, when someone says, keep going or keep studying, what grammar structure is being used? Is it followed by an infinitive or a gerund? Also, could you clarify how keep functions in everyday conversation when we want to encourage someone or describe repeated behavior? Please give detailed examples and explain the grammar terms clearly so our viewers can understand both the structure and the usage in modern English communication.
Excellent question, Emma. When we use keep to mean continue, it is followed by a gerund, which is the verb plus ing form. The structure is keep plus verb ing. For example, keep going, keep studying, keep working, keep practicing. This is a very important grammar rule. We do not say keep to go or keep to study. That would be incorrect because keep is not followed by an infinitive in this structure. It must be followed by a gerund. Now let us examine this more closely. A gerund functions as a noun, but it looks like a verb because it ends in ing. In the sentence, keep practicing, the word practicing is a gerund. It acts as the object of the verb keep. In everyday English, native speakers use this structure constantly for encouragement. Keep trying. You will succeed. Keep pushing forward. Keep learning new skills. Notice that we often use the imperative form when giving encouragement. The imperative has no subject. The subject, you, is understood. You can also use keep in longer sentences. She keeps complaining about her job. They keep arriving late to meetings. Here, keep describes repeated or annoying behavior. The structure remains. Subject plus keep slash keeps plus verb ing. In negative form. He keeps interrupting me. This suggests repetition and sometimes irritation. We can also use adverbs. She keeps constantly checking her phone. Although keeps checking already suggests repetition, adverbs add emphasis. In professional communication, we must keep improving our strategy. I will keep monitoring the results. This shows continuous action over time. To summarize, when keep means continue, it is always followed by a gerund. It is widely used in motivational language, daily conversation, and professional communication. Mastering this structure will make your English sound natural and confident.
That explanation was very clear. Now I would like to move to another important use of keep. We often hear expressions like keep calm, keep quiet, or keep the door open. In these cases, keep seems to have a different meaning. It is not about continuing an action but about maintaining a state or condition. Could you explain this structure in detail? How does keep function grammatically when followed by an adjective or an object? What is the difference between stay and keep in these contexts? Please provide examples using present simple, past tense, and modal verbs so our viewers can apply this structure confidently in daily life and professional situations.
Another excellent question, Emma. When keep means maintain or cause something to remain in a certain state, it follows two main structures. First structure. Keep plus adjective. Examples. Keep calm. Keep quiet. Keep safe. Keep positive. Here, keep is followed by an adjective. The verb means maintain this condition. In present simple, I keep calm during stressful meetings. She keeps positive even under pressure. In past tense, he kept quiet during the discussion. They kept calm despite the crisis. Second structure. Keep plus object plus adjective. Example. Keep the door open. Keep the engine running. Keep the room clean. Here, the door is the object, and open describes its condition. Grammatically, the adjective functions as an object complement because it describes the state of the object. Now let us compare keep and stay. Stay is usually intransitive. It does not take an object. Correct. Stay calm. Stay focused. Incorrect. Stay the door open. But with keep, you can use an object. Keep the door open. This is a key difference. Modal verbs also work naturally. You should keep your phone on silent. We must keep the data secure. You need to keep your goals realistic. In professional English, managers must keep employees informed. Notice here that informed is a past participle functioning as an adjective. In future tense, I will keep you updated. This is extremely common in business communication. Present perfect. I have kept all the documents organized. This shows maintenance over time. In summary, keep can be followed by an adjective or by object plus adjective to express maintaining a state. It is more flexible than stay because it allows an object. If learners master these structures, they will sound significantly more fluent and natural in both casual and professional English conversations. And that is the power of understanding how to use keep in everyday English.
Mr. Miller, we have discussed keep followed by a gerund and keep followed by an adjective or object. Now I would like to explore phrasal verbs with keep, because they are extremely common in modern English. Expressions such as keep up, keep on, keep away, and keep in touch are used in daily conversations, social media, and professional communication. However, many learners feel confused because phrasal verbs often have meanings that are not literal. Could you explain how these common keep phrasal verbs function grammatically? Are they separable or inseparable? How can learners use them naturally in present simple, past tense, and future forms? Please provide clear explanations and practical examples so our viewers can confidently include these expressions in their everyday English.
That is an essential area to master, Emma. Phrasal verbs with keep are extremely common and very natural in spoken English. Let us begin with keep up. This phrasal verb means maintain the same level or continue successfully. Examples. I try to keep up with industry trends. She keeps up with her studies. Grammatically, keep up with is inseparable. We cannot say keep with trends up. The structure is keep up with plus noun / gerund. Past tense. He kept up with the competition. Future. We will keep up with technological changes. Now let us examine keep on. This means continue, and it is followed by a gerund. She keeps on talking. They kept on working despite the noise. Structure. Keep on plus verb ing. It is very similar to keep plus gerund, but it adds emphasis. Next is keep away. This means maintain distance. Keep away from the edge. Children should keep away from dangerous chemicals. Structure. Keep away from plus noun. It is inseparable. Now consider keep in touch. This is extremely common in social and professional contexts. Let's keep in touch. I will keep in touch with you after the conference. Structure. Keep in touch with plus person. We use modal verbs easily. We should keep in touch. You must keep up with your responsibilities. Present perfect. I have kept in touch with my former colleagues. Notice how natural that sounds in business English. One more example is keep out, meaning do not enter. Keep out of this area. Please keep out of confidential files. In summary, phrasal verbs with keep are mostly inseparable and followed by prepositions such as with, from, or in. They are used in present simple for habits, past tense for completed actions, and future forms for plans. Mastering these phrasal verbs will make your English sound authentic and modern.
Thank you for that detailed explanation. For our final question, I would like to focus on idiomatic expressions with keep. Native speakers often say things like keep an eye on, keep in mind, keep a secret, or keep your word. These expressions are not always easy to translate directly into another language. Could you explain the meaning and grammatical structure of these idioms? How can learners use them correctly in professional emails, conversations, and presentations? Please include examples using present perfect, conditionals, and modal verbs so that our viewers can understand both the grammar and the practical usage of these very common English expressions.
That is a wonderful final question, Emma. Idiomatic expressions with keep are extremely powerful because they appear frequently in both informal and formal English. Let us begin with keep an eye on. This means monitor or watch carefully. Please keep an eye on the budget. I will keep an eye on your project while you are away. Structure. Keep an eye on plus noun. Present perfect. I have kept an eye on the market trends for years. Now let us examine keep in mind. This means remember or consider. Keep in mind that deadlines are strict. You should keep this in mind during negotiations. Notice the modal verb should, which softens advice. Next, keep a secret. She keeps secrets very well. He kept the surprise a secret. Structure. Keep plus noun phrase. Conditionals work naturally. If you tell her, she will keep your secret. Now consider, keep your word. This means, do what you promised. A good leader keeps his word. She has always kept her word. Present perfect emphasizes reliability. In business communication, these expressions sound very natural. Please keep in mind our strategic objectives. We must keep an eye on operational costs. If we keep our word, we will build trust with clients. Notice how conditionals express consequence. If we keep our promises, customers will remain loyal. Modal verbs such as must, should, and will make statements sound professional and confident. In summary, idiomatic expressions with keep usually follow the structure. Keep plus noun phrase plus optional preposition. They are flexible across tenses, including present simple, past simple, present perfect, and conditionals. When learners master these idioms, their English becomes more natural, persuasive, and professional. That is how you truly keep improving your everyday English.
Mr. Miller, I would like to explore another interesting use of the verb keep. Sometimes we hear sentences like, I keep forgetting his name, or she keeps losing her keys. In these examples, keep seems to express repetition, and sometimes even frustration. Could you explain how keep functions when we want to describe repeated actions, especially annoying or unexpected ones? What is the grammar structure in these cases? How can learners correctly use this pattern in present simple and past tense? Please provide clear examples and explain the difference between a neutral repetition and a repetition that suggests irritation or emphasis. I think this is a very common structure in everyday English, and our viewers would benefit from understanding both the grammar and the emotional tone behind it.
That is a very practical and realistic question, Emma. When we use keep to describe repeated actions, especially annoying or surprising ones, we use the structure. Subject plus keep slash keeps plus verb ing. This is the same grammatical structure we discussed earlier, keep followed by a gerund. However, the meaning here focuses on repetition, often with emotional emphasis. For example, I keep forgetting his name. She keeps losing her keys. They keep changing the schedule. In these sentences, the speaker usually feels slightly frustrated or surprised. The repetition is not neutral, it carries emotion. Now let us examine the grammar more closely. Present simple. I keep making the same mistake. He keeps interrupting me during meetings. Notice that in the third person singular, we add s to keep, keeps. Past tense. He kept calling me last night. She kept asking the same question. Here, kept is the past form of keep, followed by the gerund. This structure emphasizes repeated action in the past. Now let us compare neutral repetition versus emotional repetition. Neutral repetition. She goes to the gym every day. This simply describes a habit. Emotional repetition with keep. She keeps going to the gym even though she is injured. Here, there is emphasis or implied concern. Another example. Neutral. He asks many questions. With emotional tone. He keeps asking questions. The second sentence suggests impatience. We can also use adverbs for emphasis. He keeps constantly checking his phone. Although keeps checking already shows repetition, constantly strengthens the meaning. In professional English, the client keeps requesting changes. This may suggest difficulty. In spoken English, tone of voice also influences meaning. The structure itself suggests repetition, but the emotional interpretation depends on context. In summary, when keep describes repeated actions, it is always followed by a gerund. It often expresses frustration, surprise, or emphasis. Understanding this nuance helps learners communicate emotions naturally and accurately in everyday English.
Thank you for that clarification. For our final question, I would like to discuss expressions like keep someone informed, keep things organized, or keep yourself motivated. In these cases, keep is followed by an object and then either an adjective or a past participle. Could you explain how this structure works grammatically? What is the difference between keep someone informed and inform someone? How can learners use this pattern in professional emails and workplace communication? Please include examples using modal verbs, future forms, and present perfect so our viewers can apply this structure confidently in both spoken and written English.
That is an excellent way to conclude, Emma. When we use keep in expressions such as keep someone informed, the structure is keep plus object plus adjective or past participle. For example, I will keep you informed. Please keep the files organized. She keeps herself motivated. In keep someone informed, the word informed is a past participle functioning as an adjective. It describes the state of the object, someone. Now let us compare. Inform someone means to give information once. I informed him about the change. But keep someone informed means to provide information continuously over time. I will keep you informed about any updates. The second sentence implies ongoing communication. Present simple. I keep my team updated. He keeps his workspace clean. Present perfect. I have kept all stakeholders informed. This shows continuous responsibility until now. Future forms. I will keep you updated. We are going to keep the system secure. Modal verbs are very common in professional communication. We must keep our clients satisfied. You should keep your documents organized. We need to keep employees engaged. In business emails, this structure is extremely useful. Please keep me informed of any developments. Kindly keep the department updated regarding the progress. Notice that regarding and of are common prepositions in formal English. This structure often appears in management and teamwork contexts because it emphasizes maintenance of a condition over time. Another example. If we keep employees motivated, productivity will increase. This is a first conditional sentence showing cause and effect. In summary, keep plus object plus adjective / past participle expresses maintaining a condition over time. It is different from a single action verb like inform because it suggests continuity. Mastering this structure allows learners to communicate professionally, clearly, and confidently in modern English environments.